The biggest challenge in this chapter of my life was self-sabotaging, in the way that I was avoiding boredom. I was avoiding doing things that feels uncomfortable in my mind. Feels uncomfortable because I need to face some fears. And I realized I just self-sabotage for some beliefs that I believed when I was younger. And that story that I'm telling about myself, who I am.
Yeah.
But I feel that I already overgrown that version of me.
What's the feeling that comes up when you need to do something that's uncomfortable?
The first thing that I want to do is just to run somewhere. So it's kind of fear.
What is the sensation trying to tell you?
That thing is the core of my self-sabotaging and everything,
Yes.
and how I feel after breakup or after somebody leaves me. And that is the same thing that was with me for the last, how I remember myself, last
Right.
15 years.
Yeah.
I wrote to you about leadership. That for me right now is important to explore how I can become the leader, and I see this is the exact thing that will make me an aligned leader who stays confidently on his knees.
Exactly.
Being leader to this boy means being leader to others.
Leadership starts with self. We gotta learn to lead ourselves. We gotta build that trust with ourselves first. If you can't lead yourself, how can you lead others? You need to trust your own leadership first. Welcome to the Heart of Man podcast, a podcast for any man seeking to live in alignment with his deepest core and lead a life of profound meaning and connection. I'm your host, Alex Lehman, and I'm here to empower you through transformative conversations, eye-opening insights, and practical wisdom. Join me now as we venture into the heart of man. Let's dive in. Over the years of being a fellow podcast listener myself, I've received immense benefit from listening to coaches and practitioners I've been inspired by, offering anonymous coaching sessions to their listeners. Every time I tuned in, I found these sessions to be an incredible opportunity to get to know myself on a deeper level. And while the content of what might be occurring for someone is unique to them, the themes that are addressed are, in my eyes, universal. Themes that we all need to face and work through, whether it's moving through self-sabotage, overcoming anxiety, finding forgiveness, accepting ourselves for who we really are, or learning to lead ourselves better. To offer you deeper context of my world outside of being a podcaster, and to give you a glimpse into my work as a coach and somatic practitioner, I decided to periodically release these experiences where I guide someone through a process of the work I offer in person, which includes a 1-hour coaching session and a 1-hour breathwork journey. In this session, you'll have the opportunity to listen to the challenges Artur is navigating as we explore the themes of self-sabotage, self-trust, and self-leadership. Like many men I work with, Artur wanted to address the blocks holding him back from doing the work he deeply wants to step into. After a few minutes of investigation and directing my curiosity toward his experience, we oriented our session around his internal world, something I commonly do within these sessions. What Artur ended up finding was a surprise to him, as he was completely oblivious to the blind spots right in front of him. If you listen closely, I would argue that this is going to be a session many of you might be able to relate to, highlighting that self-leadership isn't just about the execution of our task lists or the actions we want to take, but rather, it often begins by being there for ourselves in the moments that are silently demanding it. This one was for sure a relatable one for me, and I know for many high performers I work with as well. If you enjoyed this style of podcast and found value in it, my encouragement is to let me know. Reach out, leave a comment, or give the podcast a 5-star rating to show it some extra love. If you've been a listener of the show for a while, you'll know that I truly do my best to offer a platform that brings genuine value as I demand excellence of myself. And the reason why is because I genuinely care and I want men to succeed. My aspiration is to create the kind of roadmap I wish I had when I was walking through the thick of it in my own journey. So without further ado, let's dive into this coaching session with Artur. All right. Artur, it's a pleasure to have you here today. How are you doing?
I would say being a bit, there is a bit anxiety on the background, but I'm calm and I'm pretty confident.
Calm and confident. What is it like to be in this environment right now, in this unique situation with all these cameras, all these lights on us, and also recognizing we're really coming together for a very intimate conversation for you to experience my work? So, what is that like right now, and what do you notice in your body?
I'm feeling a bit like heartbeat. So it's not that completely relaxed and comfortable,
Got it.
but compared to the last time I've been in such a setup,
Yep.
and even not
Yep.
going to talk, I haven't talked about some intimate stuff. It's like earth and sky. Like, there's
Beautiful.
huge difference
Yeah.
compared. Like I'm feeling much more comfortable right now sitting here.
I'm really glad to hear that. And I would as well argue that this is the place where I would really want us to start. And this is the place where I would like us to focus. Because essentially, I really want you to be in a state where you're comfortable, where you're feeling relaxed, where you feel safe. Because I would argue that's as well where we can do some of our deepest work. So from there, we can as well direct ourselves towards the conversation. So, what would allow you in this moment to allow yourself to feel more relaxed? Is there something here right now that would like to be acknowledged or like to be addressed?
I think that's just a question of time. The more we will get into the process, the more relaxed I will become. Even now, I'm feeling relaxed.
Wonderful. Okay, so I would say let's just go about the process, and I will, of course, remain attuned to you, sensitive towards what might be occurring, and if I pick anything up, I'll definitely let you know. So, looking at it now from this lens of us having a session, I would like you just to bring it together for us in a very concise way, let's say in around 2 to 3 sentences. What is it that you're struggling with? And as well, what is it that you're hoping to get out of this session today?
The biggest challenge for me in the last couple of in this chapter of my life was self-sabotaging, in the way that I was avoiding boredom. I was avoiding doing things that feels uncomfortable on in my mind.
Got
Feels
it.
uncomfortable because I need to face some fears and I need to face um, some things that affect my lower self and my ego.
Mm-hmm.
Something about myself I don't like, and I trying to avoid, trying to not look at. And this is actually just self-sabotaging of my success
Right.
and avoiding doing things that move the needle, avoiding doing things that will change my life in the business.
Yeah. So from what I just picked up on, it seems like the thing that you're really working on right now is your business and really wanting to as well, I guess, move the needle forward in your own words. I'd love to hear what that means for you, and also how does the self-sabotage show up for you right now?
So I will start with that. I feel that I have done successfully um, a lot of parts of my life, like wellness, health, fitness, relationships with friends, community, location freedom. But business always was struggling, and I was thinking why I was always not sticking to the one thing for a long time and was always changing, I was always pivoting. And I realized it's just self sabotage for some beliefs that I believed when I
Mm-hmm.
was younger, and something that story that I'm telling about myself, who I am.
Yeah.
But I feel that I already um, overgrown that version of me,
Mm-hmm.
and I know how to succeed in business.
Yeah.
I unconsciously repeating the same patterns, the same habits that keep me stuck and keep me um, just running in the loop of same like hamster wheel.
Mm-hmm. And as you're speaking about this right now, what do you notice? as you're sharing about it, as you're sharing about your ways of self-sabotage, it sounds to me like you're someone who's very clear around what it is that he wants and as well what he's as well wanting to move forwards to. However, it seems like not to be fully coming together right now. So what do you notice in your body right now as you're starting to speak about particularly the self-sabotage?
Vulnerability and sensations in my solar plexus
Got it.
area
Yeah.
here. Because like it's something vulnerable. It's something also related to personal relationships with women, but also it's something that was with me for a long time. And now it's just just recently I got clear on okay, what the business I want to build,
Yeah.
who I want to work with, what I want to grow towards to. Before it was much worse. Right
Sure.
now I have this awareness and I'm aware that there is something on unconscious side that's still
Yeah.
like getting me back through just to saying just want like and wants to say me that look at here.
Yeah.
And just for me just to accept it and start loving my these parts of myself.
Wonderful. So I want to just offer you a reflection here. First of all, it sounds like you have a massive awareness of stories, beliefs, perhaps certain emotions that you're as well not fully feeling. And you're recognizing that this is really all part of the process, which is wonderful, right? Sometimes that awareness as well can get a little bit in our way. But check with me as well if this feels accurate to you. But I'm also sensing that there's a little bit of judgment. There's a little bit of harshness towards yourself, or maybe even criticism around the fact that you know what it is that you're wanting to step into. It's important to you, but it seems like you're not fully going into that. Is that accurate?
Exactly. It's comparison to others.
Yeah.
And I think maybe some regret about how I spent my 20s
Got it.
and how I spent my last 6-7 years,
Yeah.
and judgment based on that story.
Got it. So it almost sounds to me like you're attempting to correct your 20s, correct the experiences that you've had there, which seems to be creating a lot of pressure for you.
I think so. I think that also social media and the narratives that we see in social media, they're amazing. Young people getting successful. It hadn't been like that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was partying 10 years ago, hardly partying. And I think unconsciously I have this some small judgment to myself that I haven't retired my parents when I was 22. Like I haven't focused on building something meaningful when I was back then. So I need to work right now harder. So it is.
How does that judgment impact you today? How does it affect you?
It used to affect highly my self-esteem and confidence into myself, self-trust. Like the big word is self-trust here.
Tell me more about that, and what's your relationship to self-trust in this moment?
The last 2-3 years, I tried a lot of things, a lot of businesses, and a lot of them failed. And because I was going through failure to failure, I lost that self-trust into myself because there was no success, and everything I was trying to do led to some learnings, but I saw that back then as a failure.
So if I may just jump in here, what's interesting for me is that it seems like you have defined self-trust towards the success of the things that you have pursued. Could that be accurate?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know right now that self-trust is when I'm doing what I say I'm doing, and that's also a big part that I self-sabotage by not doing what I know that I need to do.
Got it.
I know that I need to film this VSL or like edit and share this VSL. I need to film more content, but I have not doing that because avoiding, distracting myself, postponing doing something, and that led to 2 years of kind of stagnation.
Well, the thing I want to just illuminate here is perhaps really clarifying and really defining for yourself what self-trust really is. Because having a definition of self-trust that communicates I say what I do and I do what I say is very different from needing to have a certain level of success from the outcomes that from the actions that you're taking, right? And I want to as well acknowledge that there is a bit of an external aspect to that that is out of your control, right? So let me ask you, what feels actually more soothing or maybe even more opening to you? What definition would you like to consider for yourself that feels more um, let's just say that makes the whole idea of self-trust more approachable in this moment?
Right now, self-trust for me is I'm doing what I say I will do. Before, it was that other part that
Got it. Got it.
related to I'm not successful because everything I try is not going to some kind of financial success.
Hmm. And how have you been able to digest or process those experiences, particularly when your framing of self-trust was still so defined by the outcomes that you're experiencing? And then as well with the added pressure of the comparison of other individuals who might be getting the success that you're aiming for.
Can you repeat the beginning of the question?
Hmm. How have you been able to work with, I guess, the perceived failures that you've experienced over the few years? Because I'm seeing that your definition of self-trust has changed.
Hmm.
Have you been able to process some of those failures and some of those judgments that you had onto yourself?
It took time, but yeah, I everything comes to just changing the perspective. So I just realized that first of all, I wrote down what I have done and what I have succeeded in, my wins. I wrote down my wins and looked at them and realized that shit, I actually have done a lot. I worked
Mm.
with big names and helped people, and I then I cannot say I'm failure just after looking on my wins. So
Mm.
that helped me just to look at my life differently, changing the perspective, and also realizing where my value is come from, and seeing differently failures and wins. For me, failures right now, in most cases, is just something that I learn. It's just trials, and the more failures I have, the faster I win. For me, it just became different, looking at things differently.
Got it. So let's draw our awareness more towards the sabotage that is occurring, but also some of the feelings or emotions that you communicate that you're attempting to avoid. So, what is it that you would need to feel if you were to take the actions that you communicate you want to take?
How I would need to feel.
What would you need to feel? What would show up the moment you would start taking action?
So I'm running, and the hardest part in running is looking and taking on shoes. For me, starting is the hardest part. Once I started and doing something, I'm getting into the flow, and it's so much easier. For example, I will bring the example of editing my VSL video. Getting to edit, like opening the program and just starting, because there's no clear process for me right now, takes this inner will. But once I start editing, once I'm in the flow, it's
Yep.
effortless.
So one of the things that I would really love for us to do, I'm noticing that within the conversation that we're having so far, right now it's still quite heady. I don't know if you're observing that as well yourself. So one of the things that I would like us to really do right now is just to draw your attention towards your body
Mm-hmm.
and just allow yourself to slow everything down. Good. Yeah, that's it. Close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. Let's see if you're able to limit the stories that are occurring about everything that you're wanting to achieve. And I want us to just really focus on the self-sabotage, right? So what is the thing that you would need to feel if you didn't distract yourself?
The word that came in the first time you asked this and coming right now is having fun, having joy. What I will need to feel, having joy.
Okay. So what you're avoiding right now feeling through the self-sabotage is joy. Is that correct?
No, that's what I would like to feel.
You would like to feel.
Not have a self-sabotage.
Got it. Right. So you would like to step into more joy and aliveness. Great. I love that. What is the thing that you're now feeling as a result of the self-sabotage? And what would you need to feel if you didn't if you didn't do all this self-sabotage?
I'm feeling right now when I need to do something uncomfortable.
Yeah. So what's the feeling that comes up when you need to do something that's uncomfortable?
Let's see. So the first thing that I want to do is just to run somewhere. So it's kind of fear.
Fear.
Because
Great.
I want to go somewhere.
Great. So let's just keep it at that. It's fear, right? You're feeling fear. Where do you feel that fear? What do you notice?
My chest.
Okay. Would you be open to working with that fear just a little bit?
Yes.
Wonderful. Before we jump back into this episode, I want to take this short moment to speak to any man listening who's ready to go deeper. The man who longs to feel at peace with himself, who knows he's capable of more, who can sense there are parts of himself he just hasn't yet been able to reach. The man who craves real connection and fulfillment in his romantic relationship and a more passionate, satisfying, intimate life. Through my work, I've had the honor of supporting my clients through incredible transformations, both personally and professionally. Here's what some of them had to say about our work.
I was able to fully reconnect with myself, which enabled me to fully reconnect with my partner.
I was just blown away by how skilled he was as a guide, as a coach. He really met me where I was at.
Yeah, thank you, Alex, for this amazing time. You changed my life. And it's so crazy what's possible in such a short time.
Don't think twice. Sign up, take the leap to join him in any of his courses and programs. You will not be disappointed.
I feel more confident, more grounded, and in control of my emotions.
It was just a beautiful and magical experience, and therefore I'm gonna work with him in future for sure.
As men, we often overlook our emotional needs, but Alex is someone you can truly rely on to help you work through them. I could not recommend him higher.
As you can hear, I've had the privilege of walking alongside men and couples through deep and lasting transformation in the way they live, lead, and love. And while my work continues to grow and evolve, one-to-one coaching remains my favorite. The intimacy, the commitment, and the depth inside the container are undeniable. At the time of releasing this episode, I have 2 spots open for my one-to-one coaching. If you notice even a slight inclination to take this next step, my encouragement is to follow that and reach out for a free connection call with no strings attached. You'll find a link to my Typeform in the show notes, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. It would be an honor to explore how I can support you on your journey. I'd like you just to either keep your eyes open, just having a soft gaze. If you feel comfortable with it, close down your eyes. Wonderful. And before we begin, I'd like you just to really feel the weight of your sitting bones. Draw your attention again towards the bottom of your feet. And allow yourself to really be in your body in this moment. Yeah? Notice as well if the head is wanting to figure it out. If there's a part of you that wants to find a solution to it right now. And if available, I would just like to request or ask that part just to soften back a little bit, just to park back a little bit, just so we can focus on that fear a little bit longer. So I'm going to ask you a few questions to that sensation that you're feeling in your chest. And I'd like you just to trust the first answers that comes. So recognize that these are more intuitive questions. They might not make logical sense, but just trust the very first thing that shows up for you. So what is the shape of that sensation that you're experiencing in the center of your chest?
Triangle.
It's a triangle. Okay. Does it have a color?
Orange, yellow.
Orange, yellow. Got it. Does it have a particular type of movement or a certain texture?
It's not spinning, but it's kind of floating.
Floating. And what do you notice in terms of the movement within your chest? Is there like a weight on your chest? Do you feel a sharp pain? Do you feel yourself caving in? What does your body want to do when you feel the fear?
It gets tightened,
Gets tightening.
and my body wants to get it into a bit of fight or flight mode.
Fight and flight. Okay. Got it. How does that show up for you when you say that, you want to get into fight or flight mode?
I mean, I want to go to the toilet.
You want to run to the toilet. Got it. Yeah. Thanks for being honest around that. So right now, let's just take a few deep breaths. Yeah? And I just want you to remember that I'm right here with you. I'm here with you in every step of the way. So for now, as you're feeling this fear, and as you're feeling as well the desire to run, see if you're able to connect to your breath. See if you're able to connect to the feet of your ground, the weight beneath you, and your sitting bones. Notice if you're just able to be with that fear as it is. The part of you that wants to run away right now, do you also feel it in the center of your chest, or do you feel it in a different location in your body?
I'm feeling it in different parts of my body.
Got
in
it.
my knees, in my
Mhm.
legs,
Yeah.
in my hips. So it's going
Mm.
from the chest down.
Okay. Yeah. What's it like to be with this right now?
A bit uncomfortable, but
Yeah. So what I would like you just to do is actually, I would like us just to honor that desire to move, that desire to run. So notice if in this moment you're able to just gently move your feet back and forth. So just gently rubbing them against the rug beneath you as if you're walking. So just allowing as well that somatic movement of wanting to walk, of wanting to step away, to be here.
it calms down.
It calms down. Beautiful. Good. Wonderful. So just welcoming that. Yeah, so just keep allowing that. I'm going to invite you as well just to take a few deep breaths. And notice if you're able to allow some soft exhales as well with some gentle sound, just to as well accompany that. Good. Yeah. I don't know what your experience has been in the past, but I can imagine that there's been moments where perhaps you felt trapped or you couldn't feel like you could step out of a situation, and that made you feel incredibly scared. Could there be some truth to that?
I got one picture in my mind right now when a child is crying, and what does mom? She's, how you call these movements?
Cradling.
Yeah, and that's the feeling that I'm doing to myself to calm down.
Yeah.
That part.
Wonderful. Yeah, beautiful. So just notice as well here how you're able to soothe yourself. So what's your sensation towards that sense of fear right now?
Sensation.
Yeah, how do you feel towards the fear right now? Is it more available for you to be with it? Do you notice yourself feeling more open towards the fear?
I'm definitely feeling more open towards this fear.
Beautiful. Okay, good. So would you be willing to just approach the fear a little bit longer? I would have a few more questions towards it.
Yes.
Wonderful. So if this sensation of fear had a voice right now, what would it say to you? What is the sensation trying to tell you?
That it's scared.
It's scared. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'd like you just to ask it what it's scared of.
The words that I hear is alone, lonely.
Yeah. So you're scared of being all alone. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. And notice if you're able to, as you're in this conversation here with me right now, as you're drawing your attention towards that sensation of fear that is terrified of being alone, notice the part of you that can as well observe the entire experience. Notice the part of you that's detached of that and can, like a father or like a parent figure, be with that part of you that is terrified. Is that possible? Is that available to you right now?
For me to be with a part that is unattached.
Yeah. So can you notice that an aspect of you is terrified of being alone, whereas another aspect of you that's just watching it?
I don't see right now anyone around.
Got it. Well, I guess what I'm trying to communicate to you, you can watch yourself that you're scared, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So that part of you that's watching you, that's scared, is not scared. That's accurate, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. So just watch that. Watch how a part of you is terrified of being alone, whereas another aspect of you can watch that and be detached to that. Yeah. So again, just taking a few deep breaths. So just acknowledging the part of you that is terrified of being alone. Can you remember a time when you first felt that?
Probably kindergarten.
In kindergarten?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's certain images or a certain scene that is coming up for you as you think about this.
Yeah, it is. My mom is leaving. I'm crying.
Yeah.
Going to the room where kids supposed to sleep, and while other kids playing, I'm crying for another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Until I'm getting comfortable and maybe I just express the emotions and getting back to the kids.
So as you watch that scene of that little boy crying for his mother, what do you witness in him? What do you observe in him? Is he aware that his mother is coming back, or what do you perceive in him?
No, he feels like the mom left him forever.
Got it. Yeah.
He's not confident. He's not comfortable.
Yeah.
He doesn't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, just feeling a lot of compassion here right now for that little boy. Just considering as well that is a very scary proposition to live with, that she's never going to come back, that he's going to be all alone. Yeah. So what did that little boy decide in that moment? What did he learn to believe about himself And how has he as well learned to protect himself from that fear of being all alone?
He learned that he learned something about his value, and he learned that people leave him alone, that he's not belonged.
Yeah. He's separate. He doesn't belong. And you also shared there's something here about his value. What is it about his value that you believe he took on as a belief?
This one is harder. Like, he's not valuable, but I don't know why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, he thinks that if he will right now I would say please the people, but he would make people happy, they won't left him alone.
Got it. So is that the way that you learn to cope with that fear of being all alone, of being excommunicated? Is that how you learn to protect yourself from that?
I start feeling the pain. That's interesting.
Yeah. Is it still in the chest or?
Yeah, it's in the chest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm gonna just invite you just to stay with it. Keep breathing into it and just allow yourself as well to allow some space for that pain.
Answering your question, he learned to defend himself in the way of closing himself and avoiding.
Yeah.
Not fighting, just crying and feeling grief and feeling betrayal or feeling that nothing made sense.
Yeah. Okay. You still feel that pain in your chest?
It's not that intensive.
Got it. Okay. Well, just let me know if it returns. But I guess what I'm hearing is that there was a deep sense of betrayal that came from that experience. Yeah. For that little boy. And
he saw the world as helpless.
Yeah.
That nobody didn't help him.
Got it. So there's a helplessness that you experienced in that moment. And it seems like it is that very helplessness, challenge me if I'm mistaken, but it seems like that is that very helplessness that you're attempting to now avoid today. It's that very helplessness that you've learned to protect yourself from.
Yes, and it's not just business, but I see it all in all relationships.
So how is it showing up?
When somebody leaves me or I have a breakup, I feel these sensations and I'm closing myself, closing my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling that less energy. I don't want to do it because I see the world as helpless.
Yeah.
Same with business.
How are those connected?
Self-value. How he see himself, how I see myself, my value as a person, as a man.
So how have you learned to define yourself? How have you started to relate to yourself in terms of your value, whether it's in relationships or in business?
Can you ask in different way?
Yeah. So as a result of that very difficult experience for that little boy, right? It seems like the world was perfect up until that point where, he was safe, he was protected, everything was okay, his needs were met, and all of a sudden He goes to kindergarten. His mom leaves him. He doesn't really know what's going on, but the place that he goes is his mom wouldn't ever go back. She wouldn't ever come back, right? And is that moment that you experienced, let's just say, a certain wake-up call to a level of betrayal? Yeah?
Yeah. And that place, I don't feel like I have friends there or somebody that can understand me.
Mm.
So I'm feeling that the whole world is just left me behind.
Got it. Got it. So it sounds to me like you weren't just left by the person that you love, and that seems to be as well kind of a theme in your life, being left by the person that you love, but as well, no one can support you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one can help you. Yeah. So what's your relationship today in terms of receiving help?
Yeah, I have problems with that.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
For me, it's harder to ask for help. I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning that, but I know that my dad is the same, but I will do something on my own and will struggle, but I will not ask for help because I will think that I'm not that I don't deserve.
You don't deserve it.
Yeah, that's word.
Yeah. So again, just checking in with your body. What do you notice as you're speaking about this? How is this all landing?
It is resonating a lot. I'm even feeling it to my hands in the way that not sweating, but I'm getting hotter. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
the temperature.
Got it. Yeah.
So I'm feeling the vulnerability of when I'm like diving deeper and deeper.
So let's take a moment here again, just to direct our attention again back to that little boy. Yeah. And if the scene is not in front of you right now, I'd like you just to draw your attention towards it, paint the scene of that experience where his mother is leaving and where that boy is just noticing his mom stepping away further and further. And I'd like, yes?
The scene is he is laying down on the bed and crying.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd like you just to visualize as if you're in the scene here right now. And for now, I'd like you just to watch the scene playing out. How far do you see yourself away from that little boy?
I saw myself at 3 meters far away, but every time I was closer and closer, and right now I'm that boy.
Yeah, you're that boy. Okay. Well, I'd like you just to see if you're able to create a little bit of space between that experience of that little boy and you yourself within your current age. Is that available? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm seeing him from the back.
Yeah.
But I cannot even see him from the front.
You can't see him from the front.
No.
Yeah. So notice what had happened if you were just to step a little bit closer.
Nothing. He's still continued to cry.
Yeah.
He's laying down on his side. His position is closed.
Yeah. So see if you're able to come almost to the level where you can touch him. And see if you're able to just allow a compassionate presence without placing your hands on him. And just notice what happens in that moment. When you just welcome his experience, his sadness.
He turned to me.
Okay. And as he turns around, what do you notice now?
I'm sitting near on the side near him.
Yeah. What would he like to tell you?
That he's scared.
He's scared. Yeah. And what is he needing?
Feeling that he belongs, but also feeling that there is someone near, someone he knows, someone he trusts, someone he loves, and someone who loves him.
Yeah. How does that impact you when you hear those words in terms of what he needs? Allow yourself to really feel that.
I felt when he turned back to me, I felt that he already feels better. He doesn't feel so lonely. And when I'm here, what he needs, I'm realizing that everything he needs, he already have inside himself.
Is that his experience, or is that the experience that you perceive of him?
That's my experience.
Right. So what is his experience? What does he need? What does he need of you?
Be with him.
Yeah. Is that something that you'd be available to?
Yeah.
How would he like you to be with him?
Like an older brother.
Hmm.
Like being someone who is older and more confident, and
Yeah.
someone that can defend you and be cover your back when
Yeah.
it's needed. So he will feel confident staying, and he will feel that there is a wall behind him that
Wonderful.
he can just hold on.
So notice what happens in your system when you hear those words in terms of what he is wanting from you, right? He really wants you to support him, to be with him.
I felt the sensation here going like down into the stomach.
Into the stomach. Okay. Yeah. How does that impact you? Is that something that you're willing to take on for him and with him? Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah. Can you share that with him? How does he respond?
He's still scared, but he feels calmer.
Yeah.
He stopped crying.
Well, maybe you can ask him what he would require and need from you in order to feel less scared.
Trust.
Trust. He needs your trust.
He needs trust, yeah.
Yeah. Coming back to that topic of self-trust. So what would support him in trusting you more?
What will support?
Yeah. So he doesn't fully trust you yet.
Yeah.
What does he need in order to trust you more?
Just be with him in the moments when he feels scared, when he feels that. Just be there.
Got it. And have you done that?
No.
No.
I was avoiding.
Yeah, that's it, right? And when you were avoiding, how was he feeling as a result of you avoiding?
Worse.
Got it. So I'd like you just to take a moment just to really receive the words that I'm going to say now and just let those land. But the very experience that that little boy had in relationship to his mother, this is the very thing that you're as well doing to that little boy. The moments he needs you, the moments he's scared, you're not there. Can you see that?
I can feel it.
Yeah. What are you feeling?
Sensations in my stomach.
Sensations in your stomach.
Like he is agreeing with what you say.
Yeah. Right? So just recognize as well the responsibility that comes with that. And also the impact that you're having as a result of not being there. Right? And it's not to shame you, but it's to bring back responsibility.
And responsibility is a big word for me.
Yeah.
I was thinking that I'm responsible, but
Yeah.
in a lot of times and moments, I was in the victimhood, and I was taking also responsibility from me, avoiding responsibility. Even I was lying to myself, saying that I'm responsible, but I was not.
Yeah. So if I'm going to make a bold statement here, but I would say the thing where I'd want to invite more responsibility in your life is this very thing. It's not more actions. It's not more to-do lists. It's not more tasks. It's this very thing. That when that feeling comes up, yeah, when that sensation of fear comes up, that you're able to meet it and that you're with it. Yeah. And that you're here for that little boy. And the ways that he wasn't supported in the past. Is that something that you're willing to take on?
100%.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Yeah. So let yourself just to take a few deep breaths. And I'd like you just to check in with him one last time before I guide you out of this. Does he require anything else from you?
Trust.
Trust.
To him. For me to trust him.
Okay. What would that look like for him? How would he like you to trust him?
That he is with me.
Yeah.
That we need each other.
Yeah. Can you also sense that?
Yeah.
That you need him? How do you need him?
Because he is that innocence of me.
That's
innocence in myself.
Beautiful.
Be yourself.
I love it. Yeah. It's aspects, I would argue, he's an aspect of your humanity. Yeah. An aspect of your purity. An aspect of your aliveness. An aspect of your life force.
Each word, every word, I felt the sensations.
An aspect of your creativity. Yeah. But what you've done is you've shut yourself completely and entirely off of it. How can you lead a business with that? How can you trust yourself in the absence of that?
He agrees.
Yeah.
And I agree. Whole body is vibrating.
Beautiful. So I'm going to slowly guide you out of this, but before I do, just allow yourself to share some final words towards him. And notice if you're able to make him a promise that whatever might resonate with you, I don't want to put my words onto your mouth, but I want you to make him a promise that you can keep in terms of how you can be there so you can actually rebuild that relationship of trust to him.
I said that I said him that I love you and that I will be with you.
Wonderful. Cool. So I'm going to just invite you to take a few deep breaths and just let it go with some sound on the exhale and visualize as you're exhaling, as if you're just allowing any excess energy that might still be present just to be composted into the earth. Good. One more. Maybe just giving yourself just a gentle, very subtle shake, maybe some gentle movement. Starting to draw your attention back into the space. Feeling your feet, feeling your sitting bones. Your own time, gently opening your eyes. And before you direct your attention towards me, just orientate yourself in the room. Maybe have a look at 3 to 5 objects, just taking some time to come back into the space. Okay, beautiful. First of all, thank you. Thank you for your willingness. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for your opportunity as well to really go to those places. I couldn't have done that without you. We're going to be wrapping up in a few moments, but I just want to take a moment here just to check in with you, how you are, and yeah, what you're noticing.
You never know how it will turn out.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to get there. I was not expecting to
Likewise.
relax to the point that I can go such deep and meet that boy.
Yeah.
So it was unexpected. It was over expectations. Was great because I felt that that thing is the core of my self-sabotaging and everything,
Yes.
and how I feel after breakup or after somebody leaves me. And that is the same thing that was with me for the last, how I remember myself, last 15 years.
Yeah.
And my reaction and my actions based on those reactions. And that's the only thing I need to accept and be with, to be myself. I would not say be different or level up, but like just be complete and aligned with who I am, grown and innocent child in one person.
I love that, man. And I love hearing all that. And like I said, I really appreciate your willingness to go to those places. And like I said, we're going to be wrapping up in the next 5 minutes. But I just want to bring a little bit more, I guess, into the conceptual, just for you to as well notice how you're able to integrate this into your life, but as well how it might connect with your life and the challenges that you're experiencing. And it seems like it's already very crystal clear for you, but I just want to again reflect it back to you in terms of what I'm seeing. But it seems like there was a time in your life where you had experienced deep states of loss, betrayal, fear, helplessness, and it sounds like you were in that situation left all alone with it, right? And no one was there to really protect you and support you with it. And there's many theories on trauma, but one of the ways that Peter Levine, one of my heroes, I'm going to say, speaks about it, is that the biggest pain comes when we're in the absence of another empathetic person. So someone that can hold us empathetically through the pain that we're experiencing, right? So it sounds like with that, there is a bunch of protective mechanisms that have come as a result of that. Big one for that is self-reliance, and as well avoidance, and not as well allowing yourself to really receive support, but as well not allowing yourself to be seen, not allowing yourself to have part of your humanity. And in a way, you've had to be disconnected from yourself.
It resonates here all the time, everything to say.
Yeah, beautiful. You've had to be disconnected from your body, because being in your body, you would actually need to feel the pain. You would actually need to feel the fear, right? So all these distractions are actually an attempt for you to not feel the very thing that little boy felt. And what happens ironically with that is you're prolonging it. You're extending it. You're doing the very thing that you experienced, right? And that's usually how we do it, in a very insidious way. Yeah. And so the pathway forward here for you, like I told you, it's not enough tasks. It's not showing up more. I would argue those things are going to be a byproduct when you're there for that part of you that feels afraid. Yeah. that part of you that feels helpless. When you're able to allow a little bit more space in your life, just to allow that to breathe and be there for it. Notice how you're feeling right now. Do you feel much fear in this state? Do you feel much helplessness?
No.
Yeah. So would you say that taking action from this space is a lot easier?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, right. So that's what I'm really inviting you into here. In those moments when you feel that resistance coming up, let yourself direct more attention towards it. Yeah. Be with that part. You can very much do it within dialogue in the way that we did it here. And I'll as well give you some prompts once we come out of this conversation for you to as well actively work with that. But notice if you're able to come to that place where you're able to truly be with that part. The moment where you can actually just allow the fear to be there without resisting it.
I can.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, we're going to have an opportunity to come into a closing share after our breathwork session. But I just want to check in with you if there's anything else that you would like to share here, or if there's anything else that you would love me to know before we come into a conclusion of the first part, the first segment of our session.
I also see this is, I wrote to you about leadership. That for me right now it's important to explore how I can become the leader, and I see this is the exact thing that will make me a aligned leader who stays confidently on his knees.
Exactly.
Being leader to this boy means being leader to others.
That's it, man. Leadership starts with self. Yeah. We got to learn to lead ourselves. We got to build that trust with ourselves first. If you can't lead yourself, how can you lead others, right? You need to trust your own leadership first. And the way that you're going to do it is not by taking more actions. It's by showing up. Of course, take the actions, but the actions will come with a lot less resistance when you can just be there. All right? Cool, brother. Well, we're going to close off the segment here. First of all, thank you again. Thanks for your vulnerability. Thanks for your willingness to show up here. And I'm excited as well to segue over to our breathwork session.
Thank you for session.
Before we move into the final part of the coaching session, I want to offer a bit of context about facilitated breathwork patterning, or FBR for short, explaining what it is and how I integrate it within my work to create real, tangible shifts and change. The recording you're about to hear picks up after the breathwork journey itself. So before we dive in, let me share a few words about this practice and why I believe it's such an important complement to the coaching process. FBR is a form of clinical breathwork that combines precise analysis of a person's breathing mechanics with touch-based facilitation and verbal guidance. Every session begins with a clear observation of the breath, noticing how the inhale moves into the body, how the exhale leaves the body, which muscles are active, and where there is tension, balance, over-effort, or collapse. From there, we move forward with deliberate interventions, whether it's touch work, a verbal cue, a shift in tone, or music, creating a kind of call and response between my facilitation and the client's nervous system. The purpose isn't to guide a breather toward one correct way of breathing, but to help restore range, flow, and dynamism, aiming to support the remembrance of the natural intelligence of the body and breath. Now you might ask yourself, why breathwork? Well, if you consider that we breathe on average 21,000 to 26,000 times a day, and if we've habitually learned to breathe poorly or in maladaptive ways, that means we're repeating those same patterns thousands of times every single day. But if we can shift the way we breathe subconsciously, the impact on our physical, mental, and emotional health can be profound. When that happens, the body begins to unlearn old breathing or holding patterns that might have been formed in moments of stress or adversity, and new pathways are created, allowing for greater harmony, balance, and functionality. Often, this also includes integrating aspects of ourselves we may have long forgotten, helping us connect more deeply to our humanity and build greater capacity, resilience, and emotional fluidity. Combining a top-down, embodied coaching approach with this deeply body-based practice is my favorite way of working with clients. Through thousands of hours of experience, I've come to observe that the content we explore and bring into awareness within coaching sessions often becomes the access point for deeper work through the sub and unconscious layers of the body, accessed through the breath. This allows for the completion of past experiences, behavioral change at the nervous system level, and the emergence of new pathways. This can often lead to a whole range of benefits, including improved sleep, digestion, mental clarity, and overall relaxation, allowing us to show up more resilient and better equipped to handle the ups and downs of life in a calm and grounded way. It's important to note that due to the depth of this work and the necessary hands-on support, facilitated breathwork patterning is only offered in person. If this has sparked your curiosity, and you have the ability to do this work in person, you can either fill out the type form linked in the show notes or message me directly on Instagram to connect further. And now, without further ado, let's dive into this final portion of our session on the other side of the breathwork journey. Right, Artur. So what the listeners don't know is that we just gone through a 1-hour breathwork journey, and this is our last 15 minutes where you just get an opportunity just to share your experience, anything that came alive. I hadn't asked you yet, so I'm really curious to hear how the breathwork journey has been, and as well what came up as well as a result of the coaching session we had prior.
Man, I think it changed my life. But I done breathwork. I'm doing it daily, but I done breathwork at least a couple of times that being led by someone. I have never been on such. I have never experienced what I experienced this time. I did mushrooms. I had different sessions with magic mushrooms, psilocybin, and I thought of being deep. No, this was spiritual experience. The breathwork itself was normal. What happened after made me realize that's it. That's this moment. I saw that boy.
Yeah.
In that room, me standing behind him, holding him, and God was standing behind me, holding me, and behind him is just divinity, it's just divine energy, bright. And I realized that he was always with me. I was never alone. That was spiritual experience. I have never seen this in my life, and I have never felt so connected to this, I can say, divine energy or God,
right,
who always with me. That's why I started crying, but I was not crying. I was almost laughing about like how stupid I was, thinking that it's just me. It's just I'm trying. That's exactly experience that I felt. Life happens through me, not because of me, not to me, but through me. And after I just felt that I'm still feeling that my back is that there is a wall in my back, not the wall, but there is somebody who is standing behind me.
I just noticed myself relaxing as I hear that. So it's interesting, right? It's beautiful. Keep going.
I definitely want to journal about this. I felt that I want to go to church, to church, and that just be more like close to the God and like start praying more often.
Mm.
But there's just inner feeling that
Yeah.
he always with me. That's what's interesting. That's I didn't expect.
Mm.
That's happened after breathwork, not during breathwork. I just saw this clear picture of this young boy standing, me behind him,
Mm.
and this. It was not the human. It was being with bright energy. It was. I cannot explain. It's
Well,
hard to picture it, but like I seen it
yeah.
so clear, and I seen it for so long.
Got it.
I didn't even feel that it's just my imagination,
Right.
because the
Yeah.
picture is coming and going,
Mm.
but this was just with me for
Mm.
so long.
I guess that's how we can describe spiritual experiences, by the fact that they're very hard to explain,
Yeah.
because they're not explainable through words, right?
I think
But
if like even somebody watching right now, it makes no sense for him to like listen or
that
hear
could
it.
be it, right? But I guess maybe if I may just jump in here for a moment, and of course, if there's anything else, I'd love to hear it. But I ponder on the fact, and this is also something that I've been exploring in my own life. I consider that we have a relationship to self, to ourselves, relationship to others, and then relationship to life, right? And you can add any other words that might be fitting for you under this idea of life. But for me, there is this recognition that there is something bigger than myself that is holding me, that is supporting me through my journey, that is there. And very similar to yourself, I've been in situations where I perceive that I'm all on my own. It's all up to me, and no one's there to really support me. And I have all these protectors similar to yourself, like that warrior. Like, I can see the warrior in you that had really needed to do everything that he could in order to protect himself, not realizing, as you said, that he's always supported in some ways, right?
I realized I need just to surrender
Mm.
and trust him.
Yeah.
I said whatever happens through me. That's his will.
Mm.
And not trying to be so selfish about like that everything what happens in life is because
Right.
of me.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
What does that feel like? Just, I guess, considering to operate in life from a deeper place of flow or surrender, using your word.
I had a lot of moments when my life was on the edge.
Yeah.
In different ways, and I knew that those moments turns out it was something spiritual, because
Yeah.
I could not believe that it's just a chance that I'm here and not somewhere else, and I'm alive and not dead,
Yeah.
Like I literally had those moments on the edge, and now it explains everything. Like I just need to let go and trust and not trying to control everything.
Right. And what might also be useful here to like understand is that warrior in you, that part in you that just wants to do, that wants to execute, that wants to take action, that guy doesn't need to retire and not do like what he loves to do. However, it's going to come from a different place, right? And you can operate in a more aligned way, right? With the flow of what's occurring, you can then use your willpower to execute, not from a place of force, not from a place of resistance or tension towards what is happening, and you like having this story, I don't want this thing to happen, things should be different, but more operating from a place of like acceptance, like true surrender, and from there executing.
You asked about like what is your intention for this breathwork, and I said acceptance, and that's exactly what happened.
Beautiful.
I just accepted that here is how it is.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. We're gonna wrap this one up, but I'm just so happy for you. Is there any final words that you would like to bring here before we come to a close to a session? After you've shared anything else that's here, I just want to share a few more ideas just on everything that we experienced, just to tie a bow on all of this. But
it's hard to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's somebody needs to experience that.
That's it. For anyone who hasn't experienced this and is like pondering on what is going on here,
Exactly.
I think it's a truly experiential sensation or experience, right? Very hard to explain. However, I guess I just want to bring it to the entire conversation that we had covered, which is you came here today because you wanted to step into deeper self-trust. And what we had come to realize that it isn't just in the actions that you're intending to do. Of course, that's a part of it. But I think what was really missed here was an important stepping stone in between that wasn't being fully acknowledged and fully addressed, which is there was a deep fear around taking some of the actions that you wanted to take, right? Because one of the trauma therapists that I really love is Gabor Mate. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he speaks about this idea of authenticity and attachment. And as children, we will always choose attachment over authenticity. Yeah. And as children, I think that can be a really good plan and keeps us safe, at least at that time. It seems like from a child's perspective, let's just say, it seems like the best path forward. However, as adults, that can become quite difficult, especially when we want to lead relationships, when we want to lead businesses, because the foundation of them requires us to be authentic. And so you wanting to step into deeper self-leadership requires your authenticity. However, here there has been a coupling for you that your authenticity is not safe. Yeah, because you need to ensure that you belong. Yeah. And in order for you to actually step into the authenticity, you got to allow the space for that part of you that is deeply afraid of losing people, deeply afraid of being excommunicated, deeply afraid of risking his belonging, and learning to be with that part of you, learning to love that part of you, learning to provide and give that part of you the things you might have not received as a child. Not because your parents didn't want to provide you these things. Maybe they were just not aware or they were not present, similar to that circumstance or situation in the kindergarten, right? It's about providing yourself that. And the more you provide yourself that, the deeper sense of trust you will experience towards yourself. Because the moments you, quote unquote, require yourself, you need yourself, you're there. Because prior to that, you hadn't been. Every time those feelings came up, you would avoid them. So you're teaching yourself that in those moments when things get difficult, you're not there. And I think this experience within the coaching, and perhaps as well within the breathwork session, has taught you that it's really about that. And from there, the execution, the self-leadership is going to be a lot more effortless. There's not going to be all this force, all this pressure that you're putting on yourself. Does that all make sense?
It made sense.
Cool, brother. Well, is there any final words or anything else before we come into a wrap?
I think that's it.
Wonderful. Well, I'm just so grateful that you were willing to put yourself through this. Thank you as well for doing it within this setup. And I really trust as well and hope that listeners will receive a lot of value from your courage, from your transparency, from your honesty, from your vulnerability. And I just want to say, man to man, how much gratitude I have for you and how proud I am for you, for you to really go to those places today, man. So, yeah, I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity to support you in this way.
It was amazing. Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Beautiful. Well, listeners, I hope you received a lot of value from this. conversation, this coaching session today. For me, this was a new way to as well show myself in a different light, something that individuals usually don't see unless they actually step into a coaching session with me. So I hope you as well received value from my own willingness to as well step into some tenderness and some vulnerability. And until next time, signing off. Thank you for listening to this episode. Your time and attention is truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe to stay tuned for my upcoming episodes. And in case you know somebody who would find this episode helpful, I encourage you to pay it forward. Finally, if you've personally been receiving value from the show, one way you're able to support this podcast is by leaving a 5-star rating and a written review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Not only does this help more people find the show, but it also supports me in bringing more incredible guests on for the future. I'm your host, Alex Lehman, and until next time, signing off.